Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jalal. Welcome to Good Morning Morocco. Today, November the 18th, marks the 67th anniversary of Morocco independence. And we are pleased to kick off our radio channel broadcast on this special date to all Moroccans. On this date, in 1955, the French protectorate came to an end. Joining me today are colleagues Ghita and Fadwa to explore the kingdom's achievements over the past 67 years of freedom. Welcome, ladies.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning, Jalal. I mean, what can I
Good
tell
morning.
you? I feel happiness in the air today. So we all feel happy. We all feel proud, especially on the occasion of Independence Day. So yeah, everyone's happy. It's a good day. So happy Independence Day. Happy Independence Day, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Ghita.
Happy Independence, everyone. How are you doing, Jalal?
I'm doing good. Thank
We're
you.
so happy to be with you today for the special occasion as Rita mentioned. It's the Independence Day. The happiness is in the air. And we're launching Morocco English Radio today for such a special occasion. So what else can we feel but happiness, right?
We cannot be...
It's a double happiness.
Of course.
Triple happiness.
It's a triple happiness. We cannot be that much proud than having the radio launch and at the same time enjoying the Independence Day and the happiness of the country. And as you guys mentioned, happy Independence Day to all Moroccans around the globe. Before going into the country's evolution details during the Independence Day, on the independence period mainly, let's first talk about this remarkable events that took place a couple of days earlier. On November the 16th, His Majesty late King Mohammed V came back to the country following weeks of People's Revolution. This brings us back to the famous speech of His Majesty delivered on the occasion rejoicing over his safe return.
شعبنا الوفي النبيل نوجه لك هذا النداء لنعبر لك عما يخالجنا من فرح عظيم بمناسبة رجوعنا لوطننا العزيز بعدما قضينا أكثر من عامين في المنفى وقد كنا وإياك في المحنة سواء طيلة هذه الغربة نشاطرك آلامك ونقاسبك آمالك وكانت الروابط التي تجمعنا بك متينة فلا الأيام ولا بعد المسافات استطاعت أن تنال من ذلك الاتحاد الروحي الذي كان عونا لنا على تحمل الآلام والحنين إلى الأوطان.
What a historical moment, ladies, isn't it?
It is.
Yes, it is indeed. I mean, listening to that speech, I cannot help but think about the triumph of the people who came together during that historical event with one aim, that is paving the way for a more independent Morocco, a modern Morocco, but more specifically, guys, a more unified Morocco.
This is beautifully said, definitely. It also brings me back to my childhood when my grandmother used to always tell me about how special was the event. It's full of emotions, by the way, for the Moroccan families. It has a very vibrant kind of memory that used to get broadcasted every year basically in the national TV, so that's why they always go with the a revived kind of memory every year. So that's a special occasion definitely for Moroccan families.
I think you're absolutely right, ladies, because this special day is a special day for us as a young generation. And I think we came to this world and found a free country, but we should always actually give the tribute to the people that actually sacrificed their lives.
100%.
We talked about weeks of revolutions. That's actually the cost. There were lives lost during that period. And that was the cost basically to bring the freedom back. And yeah, we should be always proud of that. And we should all the time be linked to that freedom and be able to teach our kids and our next generation to always be proud of the freedom.
I think you mentioned a really important point here, which is the people's engagement in the national cause, and this is like what people abroad also need to understand about, you know, our relation with our kings, and you know the amount of love and devotion that people have for their country and for their king, and this is actually like a symbol of the national liberation movement that took place, and a symbol of people's fight against the protectorate and the fight for independence, for dignity, and most importantly progress. And His Majesty, the late King Mohammed V, also was aware of this, the importance of engaging the people in this national cause. And throughout his fight, he carried out his action, let's say, in permanent consultation with the national movements, which I find really impressive. And this strategy actually also carried out throughout the reign of His Majesty, the late King Hassan II, who established the country's roadmap towards democracy, towards economic growth, but also political pluralism, which is a really important element here.
Thank you very much, Rita. Talking about political pluralism, I wanted to add up on top of it just to show how strategic visionary His Majesty, the late King Hassan II, was. He created a Maghreb Union Foundation in 17th February 1989 in Marrakesh to bring together countries, North African countries specifically, which are Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, and Mauritania, together with Morocco, in order to have common goals together in terms of industry, culture, and economy. And this all brings us to territorial integrity, which His Majesty had as a goal.
Well, I think you're absolutely right, Fadwa, because you know the territorial integrity of the kingdom is something extremely important. And that was actually his mission since actually the late king, Hassan II, basically took over the power. His mission was basically to stabilize the country and to make sure that we gain all our territories back. You're talking about the east, the north, and the south. And when we speak about the south, one important event that we should take into the consideration is the Green March. And we're talking about that. We are the 18th of November today, but a Green March, it happened as well in November, 6th of November.
Weeks ago, yeah.
Absolutely. We just celebrated that couple of weeks ago. And it marks a big initiative that has been done. And it was a smart move, actually, from Morocco and under his guidance. And it's something quite big because we mobilized more than 350,000 people. Imagine that.
Yeah.
You're talking about a city as big as Kenitra, for example. The whole people, with their food, with the medical, with all the logistics, in a peaceful way, taking back our territory. That's something we should be really proud of, ladies, isn't it?
I mean, of course we are, Jalal. I mean, we are proud of everything that happened in the past. We are proud of everything, the progress that our country is witnessing today. And of course, we'll be happy in the future and proud in the future as well. Which brings us also to a very important event and part that you've already mentioned, which is the Green March. I do believe that all Moroccan historical events are of equal importance, and the Green March is no exception. And in this vein, I do believe that the Green March has or holds a very special place in Moroccans' hearts. It's very important and very special to the point that streets are now named after the Green March. Schools are named after the Green March, and even dams are named after the Green March. And there is one specific dam called the Masir al-Khadra Dam, or the Green March Dam.
I believe it's the second biggest dam in the country.
Yes, it is actually, and it was built in 1979, and this dam is very symbolic because it showcases His Majesty, the late King Hassan II's vision in terms of water safety. During his reign, he built hundreds of dams. And and his vision was to basically make sure that the country stays safe in terms of water availability, which is a very great point and element in his plan, in his reign plan. And there's also a very important thing that we should mention here, and that we also should be proud of, which is there is actually a prize named after His Majesty, the late King Hassan II, and it's called the Hassan II World Water Grand Prix. And this prize actually pays tribute to the memory of His Majesty, the late King Hassan II, and his strategic vision, as we mentioned, for the sustainable and integrated management of the country's resources, especially water resources, by addressing the scarcity and by addressing the security of the kingdom's water. So this is actually a very important part that we should be all proud of.
I think you mentioned a very good element. I would like to actually add a few points regarding the water management part. He was very visionary, and when we look at actually many years past, since that dam was done, and we have a good assets of dams into the country, and we are in 2022 at the moment, and the country is facing a big problem. It's the water stress. And we are thinking, what will we do if we didn't have that asset? I think we will have no water to drink. As simple as that.
Definitely.
I think we now understand the importance of his vision. And to make it even more clear for the audience, we see today all the people and all the experts in water management saying that this was a visionary approach, and at the same time, they are aiming to build more dams. So that means there was visionary many, many years back, but it's still the right way to do is manage water for a better safety. And His Majesty, the late King Hassan II, did really great about that.
Yes, he did exactly that. And I think this is a moment to show our, gratitude, to express our gratitude for everything that His Majesty, the late King Hassan II did for this country.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, guys. I also wanted to mention another wise strategy of His Majesty is the liberalization of electricity in 1994, which led just 1 year after to a close to complete coverage of rural area. That is by itself definitely a success story.
You're absolutely right. Listen, when we speak about the rural areas, we try again to go back into the timeline of Morocco. We came back from the protectorate and we took our freedom. And one of the first major elements that was important for Morocco is really to stabilize the country and make sure that we get freedom on our lands. In all ways, we're talking about the north, the south, and the east, to make sure that our country is free and our land belongs back and comes back to our country. That was something non-negotiable, and that was done well. While moving in years, His Majesty, the late King Hassan II, understood as well that there are other priorities that we should be focusing on. And one of them was to make sure that people are equal within the country. That means if you live in a city, you should have electricity. But as well, if you live in a farm, you should as well have electricity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the electrification and making actually that liberal opened the door for those families to have electricity. And His Majesty, the late King Hassan II, invested huge efforts within his vision actually and strategy, which aimed at moving the country forward. No one can doubt about that. And we are here in a safe country thanks to that. We cannot we can never doubt that. That's
We
for
cannot
sure.
deny this.
Absolutely. And in terms of economy and human development, and we mentioned the stability and territorial integrity. Sadly, His Majesty, late King Hassan II, passed away in 1999. And in accordance with Al-Bay'ah, His Majesty, King Mohammed VI, ascended the throne the same year.
Just Jalal, just for our foreign listeners, would you kindly explain what is Bay'ah?
Yeah, well, sure. Bay'ah is an Arabic word. So when we speak about Bay'ah, it's an Arabic word, and we're going to give it a couple of explanations. It's the principle of Bay'ah. It's an oath of allegiance to a leader. It's basically saying, we want you as a leader. We agree to you to become our leader. It's known to have been a practice since the days of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Today, Al-Bay'ah is still a practice in some of the Islamic countries, such as Morocco and Saudi Arabia, as one of the most important actually foundations of the monarchs, similar to Al-Bay'ah of His Majesty, the King Mohammed VI. And we're all proud to see that process being repeated over the years and over the kings of this country. And we wish that could happen and will happen for the next coming generation.
I mean, yes, of course. I do not think we can celebrate Independence Day without highlighting the glorious achievements that His Majesty King Mohammed VI took part in since he ascended the throne. So how about we do this? I have an idea. How about like each one of us comes with brings up a key achievement, and then we can see who will win.
Well, I think what do you have? What 4 hours, 5 hours?
Oh, I have the whole day. I just want to win.
Yeah, because look, if we would like to talk about achievement, that's going to require a lot of time. Okay, let's come with some of the best achievements.
I think I will go first because first things first.
Okay.
And then I think the first achievement was in 2004 with the Mudawana that took place. And it has brought so much freedom to women. And it brought them also to have more of political involvement. And this has allowed women to have more voice, to have more freedom into different aspects of their lives, basically.
Well, you're absolutely right, because we've seen it as well. We noticed it in the previous government. We start seeing a lot of women empowerment. So we can say that, for example, this initiative is a good example. You win a good point, Fadwa, by saying that.
That's the
1
word.
point.
Women empowerment. And I
We're
think,
all for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this one falls under the social things, because I think as well, one of the elements of, if you allow me to add something to your point, we talk about child protection. A lot of things as well happen through this Mudawana to protect the child and to meet some of the international standards in terms of family rights and in terms of gender equality. So I think that's something quite important to belong to that certain level of high standards. So yeah, you're absolutely right. The social part is completely important.
Yes.
I think as well, one element that we should take into the consideration is the human development.
Oh, that's a very good one.
Yes, and I will beat you guys by saying this one. For sure I will win. And if you look at the 2005, in 2005, it marks a big day. It marks the National Initiative of Human Development launch. And since the launch of this initiative, many things actually happen under this umbrella. It's a big umbrella that takes place many parts into the country. And I think you really notice it. If you are in the streets or if you are going into any neighborhood, you will definitely see the sign of the initial of the national initiatives. It marks many things that happen. It marks new hospitals close to people. That means it's allowed people to get some better healthcare. Cheaper healthcare, free healthcare when it's possible. It's allowed kids that live in rural areas to get school buses. We know it. Morocco is not a perfect country. There are areas, like any country in the world, there are areas where they have challenges. These initiatives came to actually fill up those gaps and to help Moroccans in certain areas of gaps from a social and from a human perspective. And that's what this initiative is about. And it managed to fill those gaps. So I will go back again to some of the examples that I can talk about. I mentioned healthcare. I mentioned education. We basically see centers that they fall under the national initiatives for drug addiction, to help people like that. Yes. Centers that they are under supporting mothers or single mothers, supporting elderly people. So you look at the full aspects and challenges. I think it was a very smart from His Majesty King Mohammed VI to put on the right a list of all the countries' human challenges and said, well, you know what? We're going to make it as a national initiative. So we're going to create something to fill those gaps, to get as close as possible from the people and to really help people that they are in need. That's what this initiative is about.
I mean, Jalal, we can go on and on about all the challenges that we are facing today, but I believe that thanks to this initiative, we are on the right track.
Absolutely.
But I think I do have a better one. I think I'm gonna beat you all.
I don't think it's gonna be as better as mine.
Yes. Well, it is.
Let's see.
Hit the drums. It's the constitutional reform of 2011. Okay. Yes, and.
She's beating us.
Yes.
She's beating us there.
And I just don't want to deviate from the point that Fadwa has mentioned, which is gender equality. Yes. A very important article from the Constitution, which is Article 19, has stressed the importance of gender equality. And the Constitution actually states that men and women are all equal in all aspects, in all levels, which is very important because I do believe that before the reform, the old constitution just said that everyone is equal. all men are equal, everyone is equal. But now it's like a statement.
Yep.
All men and women are equal.
Absolutely.
And now that means that now today we all enjoy the same rights in terms of equal civil, economic, social, and political fields and rights.
100%.
And it also comes as a promise from the government, from the country, for all of us, that it does respect gender equality. And that's the main aim of this constitution, is to mainly ensure that equality is achieved. But not just between the sexes, but also to prevent all kinds of discrimination.
Beautiful.
So I think that's a very important element.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, I can probably add a couple of points regarding the constitution. That Morocco had fewer reviews of the constitution, and I think the latest constitution came after a deep understanding of the latest requirements. As you know, the constitutions as well are dynamic, are moving with time, to basically respond to a specific need in time. And yes, in 2011, His Majesty the King Mohammed VI initiated that, because definitely that has been understood that we need some new reforms. We need to adjust it to the new requirements of the new Morocco, because we are looking at a new phase of the country. And here we go. We got an amazing constitution.
Definitely.
Yep.
I also have another one. Should I go first?
You can go.
First?
We
Okay.
talk about the
Go
gender
ahead.
equality, and
Gender
you guys
equality.
are kicking me here. You are 2 versus 1. Go for it. Go for it.
No offense.
That's fine. That's fine.
So, okay, so basically, I wanted to add on top of these initiatives is the Green Morocco Plan.
That's a good one.
Imagine it created more than 340,000 job opportunities.
That's amazing.
Plus, of course, local investors that had interest into local resources. Argan oil is the best example.
Yes.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, you speak about the investments. Again, I will go back to the same timeline, and I will mention what I mentioned earlier. Morocco went through a lot of things. We are a country for many centuries. But when we come back into the latest 100 of years, we went through a lot, and we went through the freedom. We needed the freedom. We get our freedom back. We wanted our king back. We get our king back. Then we wanted our Sahara, and we get our Sahara back.
Sahara.
That's very important. And it was very important as well with His Majesty King Mohammed VI to work on that social part. But at the same time, there are areas that we should focus on. And here I will beat you both ladies with this. That's for sure. You won't be able to beat me with this. We should look at the investments of Morocco. Morocco moved from being a consumer of technology, of industry, to become one of the best leaders.
To a provider.
And to a very competitive provider. And I will name some of the industries. So we talk about automotive. And Morocco was mainly consisting in its economy on the agriculture as one of the biggest elements that we gain back the foreign currencies. We export agriculture products. Historically, we're known for exporting. We still do that. Then the phosphate came with OCP Group. And for our audience that they listening to us today, OCP Group is the biggest producer of phosphate in the world. And Morocco is the largest as well in the world. So that's something quite interesting to tell our audience if it's the first time to hear about this. So yeah, we speak about the country being exporter of phosphates, and that was bringing us as well some foreign currencies. Then we got the industry to move to number 1, to exceed the phosphate and agriculture. In the recent years, we started with the ecosystem of automotives. We started manufacturing cars. Then we brought the whole ecosystem of cars. Then we brought brands of cars. And now we are even building the competencies of human power around that to make even 100% made car. We call it the percentage of integration in the car. Initially, when we started this process, we used to bring the parts from outside, put them together, and export the car. And at the moment, as we speak, many of the parts are manufactured here, and we reach over 80% in some of the cars. And we even aiming for 100% made in Morocco cars. That's really amazing.
Wow.
And that's positioned Morocco as the number 1 destination for foreign investment. Morocco launched an initiative. I think we should take this platform today, since we're talking about all the good things about the country. It's an initiative called Morocco Now. And
Yes.
it's we talk about Morocco now, not tomorrow, not yesterday. It's today and it's now. That means you are interested. You should come to Morocco today.
Take
we
the
are
action.
We are
Yeah.
here to provide you with the best investment solution, and it's now. And it's an initiative done by the Ministry of Industry and Commerce. So yeah, and we would like to congratulate them for this initiative. We move to another element, which is the carbon-free emission. Yeah, I know I'm beating you, ladies, but you have to
Yes,
be
you
patient.
are.
You're just bringing all the trendy topics.
I'm beating you. You have to be patient.
We'll
with
leave
me
it
on
to
that.
you.
You gotta be patient on it. Yeah, the carbon-free emission is, the initiatives was really to move from an energy that's gonna be green for the next future generation. But not only for that, because when you look at the requirements of the European Union in terms of cars imports and products imports, they don't want just a car that's been produced in any traditional way or in a polluted way. They want to make sure that this car had to go through an energy process that's carbon free. And Morocco was so proactive into that and started that strategy many years back. We talk about the solar and the wind field. We talk about Noor, one of the biggest solar fields in the world. We talk about the winds in the Moroccan Sahara and the wind in the north, in the mountains. So yeah, we're working into that. And we have a project of a gas pipeline that will actually push us as well to be more green. So yeah, we are really kicking it. If you want to say that, we're really doing great.
We are.
Absolutely. Aerospace. That's another element. I have a point about aerospace here, and I will tell you, it's quite impressive that every single plane in this world has a piece from Morocco.
Made
Can
in
you
Morocco.
imagine that? You fly the plane, Morocco contributed to that. That's a big trust from the most requiring industry in the world in terms of safety and quality is the
Yes.
aerospace and flying.
Yes.
We look at, when we spoke about the environment and spoke about the solar and wind, we look at the COP22 that was hosted in 2016. And that gave to Morocco a big opportunity to show to the world, first, we can organize big events. And so people came and saw our opportunities in terms of energy and renewable energy. And at the same time, people managed, or we managed to make the country discoverable to those people. So they've seen Marrakesh, they visit Marrakesh and around the areas. So it was a great opportunity for tourism for Morocco. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. I do believe that thanks to everything we're doing in that field, Morocco has become like a place for gathering. Everyone is gathering for whatever reason, whatever conference there is. Everyone is gathering in Morocco to discuss important, to discuss investment opportunities, to discuss environmental issues. And I just feel like this falls also under business tourism, which is also like a really important part that we forgot. I mean, Morocco is a very famous tourist destination.
Absolutely.
And
100%, of
how
course.
can we forget
Absolutely.
tourism? Yes.
Absolutely.
So business tourism as well. And we need to mention the achievements we made in that field. And just like in 2019, I believe that maybe like around 13 million tourists from all over the
Wow.
world that
Absolutely.
visited Morocco.
That's amazing.
But if the number is big, it's not just because of the beautiful scenery. I mean, of course, Morocco is beautiful. And for everyone listening now from abroad, we do invite you to visit
Absolutely.
our beloved country.
Absolutely.
But then, yes, it's not just because of, the beautiful environment and the beautiful scenery.
Yep.
But it's also because they feel safe when they
Yes.
come to Morocco.
Yes.
Which brings us to a very important element here, which is countering terrorism.
Absolutely.
This is a very serious issue, a very
100%.
serious topic. But Morocco does not disappoint. Yes, so just I think in 2015, Morocco has created what we call PSIJ, or the National Bureau for Judicial Investigation.
Absolutely.
And which has been investing huge efforts in the field of countering terrorism.
Yep.
And I do think that maybe just last year, I think, so from 2015 to 2021, I think the PSIJ has dismantled around 90 terrorist groups just
That's
in
amazing.
Morocco,
That's
and which is amazing, which is a great achievement. And
Vigilance.
yeah, and the efforts that they're investing, and the work they're doing in that field, does not go unnoticed. It does not. So today we are proud to say that other countries depend on our safety service, and they do
Absolutely.
rely on us, and there are many collaborations between Morocco and other countries in the field of safety, which is really amazing, which is really great. But also which something else that falls within everything that we're doing in terms of ensuring a safe country for all, safe country for Moroccans, and a safe country for tourists as well, which is the precautionary measures
Oh yeah.
that the government has taken
Lately,
during COVID-19.
Yes.
So we it's a very important element that we should mention as well. So yes, I think there are a lot of things to mention in that topic.
Actually, I wanted to add up on top of this, talking about COVID initiatives that showed proactive strategies in terms of vaccine reception, the vaccine delivery, and the dispatch even to other countries who were in need, and many more initiatives that took place during COVID.
Yep.
So there were many initiatives that we basically were very good at. So that's something we should be proud of.
Yeah, I mean, look, we all lived in Morocco around
Yes.
COVID, and we know how challenging it was for everybody.
100%.
And we are very happy that we don't talk much now about this virus. We hope that this virus will move on. But, always we should learn from the lesson. And I think always the government and His Majesty's guidance, they are working on a more proactive way. And they want to make sure that if something else happened like that into this country, that we are really ready. And one of the biggest challenges that was happening at that moment, if you really guys recall around late of 2020, it was a big race between countries to secure the vaccines for their countries.
Yeah.
We were quite impressed with the quality and the reactivity of our government. We were one of the first, and I believe, if I'm not really mistaken, I think we were the first country to secure the vaccines
Yes.
in Africa.
Yes.
And we get the chance to get enough vaccines for all the Moroccans, and even to take the initiative to help neighbors.
Yes.
We managed to send vaccines and additional supply to countries like Tunisia that at that time they were quite late in terms of their
Yes.
supply, because
Yes.
it was a big queue. They had to wait for that time to receive them from the labs. The whole world wanted the vaccines. There were only few labs producing the vaccines, and that created the bottleneck, as we mentioned. Everyone wants it. They're all ready to pay the price, but the labs cannot satisfy everybody.
Everybody, yeah.
Absolutely. So from this perspective, His Majesty came with an amazing idea and really very visionary and very strategic. We should be quite capable of being self-sustained if anything happens in the future. And for that reason, we felt it when we closed the borders. Morocco didn't feel any need in any of the other elements. We were quite self-sustained in terms of food. We had enough water. There was the electricity there. It was quite safe. We had an amazing job done by the safety and security system. We talk about everybody in terms of the administration and the local government. I mean, it was 24 hours on the clock. It was a lot of job being done. Now, from the other side, we look at the future. We learn from this. And and as part of that, I will kick you ladies with this initiative. So that's what I mentioned here. And as part of that, we have His Majesty taking the initiative to launch the first vaccine project in the region of Bin Sliman. And it's one of the biggest factories in Africa.
That's it. I think you won.
I think so. I'm kicking you.
Last but not the
I know.
least.
I know I'm kicking you. And the idea behind this is we should be capable of producing the vaccines locally. We should not be depending on any of the other countries to produce the vaccines for us. Of course, in terms of research and developments, there are a lot of things to be done actually within Morocco, but at least the last mile is when there is a formula of a vaccine, we should be capable of doing it. So this factory, with a vision of 2023 to 2030, will become Morocco will become the African leader in biopharmaceutical. We will be capable of manufacturing COVID vaccines locally. That's number one, which are extremely high-tech in terms of manufacturing. And the second thing is we will be capable of supplying all Africa with vaccines similar to COVID or any future virus that might show up. We don't hope that, but if that happens, we must
We're
be
ready for it.
And
Yes.
yes, we and that is as one as a part of the strategy for this country.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this is actually what Morocco is known for. I mean, we're not just like thinking about ourselves and, you know, thinking about, you know, just helping, you know, Moroccans
Yep.
and inside the country, but we're also thinking about other countries as well.
Us
So
and
we're doing
others.
our best to...
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen that into initiatives. I mean, His Majesty King Mohammed VI visited Africa and created a
Yes.
strong bond by joining the African Union,
Yes.
and a lot of collaboration are done there to help them through know-how. We are as well proud. Probably I mentioned initially, you know, in terms of investments, I mentioned the automotive, etc. But you know, we have telecom groups. Bank institutes that they are now opened in many of the African countries and really investing into Africa. Morocco is becoming actually one of the biggest investors in so many of the French-speaking in the east, in the west part of Africa. I mean, we can name Senegal, Ivory Coast, etc. So yeah, the strategy is there, the human capital is there. We are here, and yeah, we all proud of this, and that's what makes us really proud. And what makes me more proud about this is the fact that I'm kicking you guys with some of the nice points. Yeah. So yeah.
I'm
Well,
not
this
known for
shows-
giving up, but today I think it's an exception.
This shows how far we've come since 67 years. We've covered all these years. It was a really eventful,
Absolutely.
period.
Absolutely. 67 years. This is the minimum things that we can say. I mean, we tried a bit to give you their audience the best thing about what happened about the country. I mean, Morocco is not a perfect country, and we will always have criticized and people criticizing and criticism from abroad about the country. But the country is doing its best. The country, it has its people, it has its king, it has its way, and
Capabilities.
it has its capabilities.
I mean-
we managed to do
I mean,
that.
I think
Yep.
what we should also think about is the Morocco we live in today is an ambitious Morocco.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Like we're not, you know, we're always thinking about, you know, what can we do? What else can we do? How can we be the best in this field? How can we
Absolutely.
do better? And you know, we can't, you know, be nothing else but proud.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
we're very proud to be
Absolutely.
Moroccan,
100%.
and I do feel that great things are
Absolutely.
are
going to
ahead.
happen.
Yes.
Absolutely. Ladies, I will not miss the point here. Since we have this open platform to speak extremely positively about our country and feeling very proud about our country, is really to broadcast that message to Moroccans living abroad and to tell them through this platform, we count on you. This is your land. No matter, you can go. I mean, myself as well. I lived abroad and I came back, and I'm here back to the country. We always have the Moroccan blood, and we wish always the best to this country. I mean, and this country wants you back. Whatever you can contribute in, you know, the country is here to welcome you. And we want you to feel proud about how beautiful is this country and how free is this country. And we try through the English language as well to give you the best and the insight, because you could be sitting somewhere else far from Morocco, or if you are a foreigner person listening to this radio today, we hope that we actually covered for you some of the nice elements about the Moroccan people, about the Moroccan kingdom, and as well about the leadership of this country
Yes.
that actually driving the success of this country. This
I
country
mean,
that
by
really-
the end of this talk, everyone will fall in love with Morocco.
Yeah, absolutely. You cannot not fall in love with a country like this. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, personally, I will finish a note on regarding the discussion of today with how proud I feel today being a Moroccan.
Oh, we
Yes.
all are. I mean,
So
I mean, can't you
am-
see the big smile on my face? I'm very
Absolutely.
happy today. I'm very
Me
excited.
too.
Absolutely.
I want to just add up to say that despite the challenges, basically the good overweights the bad, and so
You're
is the
absolutely right.
case
Of course.
for many other countries. But
Yeah,
for Morocco, it is our case, and we're so proud. Like we've come so far and we're so proud of it.
You're absolutely right.
I mean, there will always be challenges.
Definitely.
No matter where you go, there will always be challenges, and Morocco is no exception. But I think the exception is we are doing something.
Yes.
It may be taken slow, maybe it's sometimes slow, maybe it's sometimes fast, but we are doing something, and you can actually see the results in, the real world, like tangible results.
Yes.
So we can just be happy. I mean, we're proud, we're happy. I'm really glad that we took the opportunity of Independence Day to highlight all the achievements that the key achievements that happened basically during this period of time. So yeah.
Well, thank you very much, ladies, for contributing to today's discussion.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for the
Happy
invitation.
Independence Day to you.
Happy Independence Day, everyone. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. This was Good Morning Morocco special edition on the Independence Day of Morocco, the 67th anniversary of Morocco independence. Stay tuned on our radio for more program. And for now, I wish you all the best and enjoy your day.